Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay, choo-choo!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy, yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us all aboard the murder train, pulling away from the station with a wild story this week. This is another one of those 10 pounds of lightning in like a 1.5 pound bag. It's wild stuff here, so we will get to that very quickly. First off, want to tell you that Your Stupid Opinions is out.
Yeah.
Our new podcast. Check it out if you have not listened to it yet. It's better than we could have hoped for, and the feedback we've gotten has blown us away. So thank you for listening.
It's amazing.
If you haven't listened yet, Your Stupid Opinions, wherever you listen to podcasts. And also,
it's all there.
Check out Crime and Sports while you're at it, too. Our other podcasts, our original OG first podcast we did, and we still do and love. So check all that out. October the 26th, check out the virtual live show, our
There it is.
Halloween Spectacular.
Hell yeah.
Just like a regular live show, except you can watch it in your living room, in your yard, on your roof, anywhere you want, anywhere on the planet Earth that has Wi-Fi and internet. You can do it. So check that out. It'll be available for a week after the 26th as well. We're going to dress up. It'll be a wild Halloween story. That is shutupandgivememurder.com/Halloween. patreon.com/virtual live is where you get that. And get tickets for the December 2nd regular live show in Dallas while you're at it. So, Dallas, there you go. That said, Patreon as well. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get the bonus material.
You bet.
Anybody $5 a month or above, a mere cup of coffee. One cup of coffee that really isn't that good. If it's not the greatest cup of coffee. Skip one a month.
Latte.
One, and you're going to get a whole back catalog, over 200 bonus episodes to binge on, back bonus episodes. Then new ones every other week. One crime and sports, one small town murder, and you'll get it all. This week, what you're going to get for crime and sports, we're going to talk about the TV show Pros versus Joes, where a regular guy who's like like a warehouse worker,
I can do that.
He decides, I think I can beat a recently retired athlete at his own sport. And they can't. That's the funny part. And it's fun to watch these things. Yeah. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about a very strange case that is yet to go to trial, but we'll talk all about the interrogation and the facts that we know. Sarah Boone, the alleged suitcase killer, the lady who zipped her boyfriend up allegedly in a suitcase and then was like, I thought he was fine.
What a personality.
It's wild stuff. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the regular show. That said, let's get right into this post-haste because we have a lot of show for you. Everybody, I think it's time to sit back. Let's all clear the lungs here and hands to the sky and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy. What do you say? Let's go on a trip, everybody. We are going to Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
Where everyone goes on a trip. This is Lyons, Nebraska. It is like north of Omaha there by Iowa. Okay. It's near Iowa by Sioux City, not too far from there. So population of this town, it's a tiny town too, and it's getting smaller. It's 712 is the population of this town.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's one of our very smaller ones. And it's down 26% since the year 2020. So a quarter of the people have left in the last 3 years.
Is that right?
That is not good for a small town like this. Median household income here, $34,327, more than $20,000 less than the national average.
Yeah.
Median home price also low. It's cheap to live here. $95,800 is the median home cost. Okay. Median home cost is under $100,000. Wow. Motto here. I hope they didn't hire someone to come up with this one because I think they could have got a 5-year-old to do this. Quote, a great place to live.
Again, there's like 19 of them so far.
Some company just spread those around, one per state, or what it's actually known as kind of in the area is, quote, the sod capital of America.
Is that right?
Sod, yeah. I guess they grow sod here.
That's where they grow it?
Pull it up and put it on a truck and take it to your house.
Send it to Lowe's.
Send it off. Temporary grass grows here. Won't be here for long. Enjoy it while it's here.
We're going to scalp it and roll it.
Scalp and roll, baby. History of this town. The first kind of settlers into the town came in 1866, so right after the Civil War. A lot of fertile soil around here, so that was a good thing. And then the railroad came through, and then you have a town, as we know. Incorporated in 1884, named for Waldo Lyon.
Waldo?
Waldo Lyon, Lyon, a prominent citizen whose land was where the plots were laid out.
Prominent citizen. Yeah. That's it. Just a guy.
He just owned everything. Like where they laid out Main Street, that was all his land. So they're like, we'll name it after you if you let us put a fucking drugstore up. What do you say? Let us put the post office up and we'll name it after you. One of the finest trotting tracks in the country opened in 1891.
Is that
like horses? I think.
Yeah. But that's like, aren't there?
That's what
I
they call it.
suppose you can trot anything, right?
Don't keep it under a certain mile an hour. No running horses. Just a nice trot. It's like speed walking.
So it's got to be very smooth. It won't hurt your horse. Is that what they want?
I have no idea. It doesn't really matter, though, because I guess famous horses broke world records here, actually. Like it was a fast course.
Running.
But then hard times came, and it closed in 1893. So in 2 years, it went from the gem of the horse racing community to closed. Not good. Reviews of this town. There is only one review because there's very few people. So we could find one review, and they seem to like it. 4 stars.
Okay.
I live outside city limits. Let's not go crazy with this city thing, first of all.
700 people here, for Christ's sake.
And absolutely love it. Small town and lots of wonderful people. The school and teachers help and promote healthy learning. Whatever that is. This is a great area to live in with quiet quarters. It's a tiny, small, quiet town. They like that. So if you like that, you'll like it. If not, you won't. That's all.
You got 700 people. How could it be how can it be loud? How can it be?
I don't like
anything more than quiet.
I don't like all the traffic that builds up. Like, what can you say?
You don't even got a trotting track anymore.
No, there's no line at McDonald's there. Oh, they don't have a McDonald's probably.
I'm sure they don't.
No. Things to do here. The July 4th Bluegrass Festival.
Okay.
Come on through for some fireworks and bluegrass and dancing and a children's tractor pull, which we've never been able to determine is a child pulling a tractor or a child driving a tractor. Neither sounds like a good idea.
I hope it's the latter.
I hope it's the former. It would be hilarious to see kids with a tractor strapped to their back fucking trying to pull that thing. That'd be amazing. They wouldn't have got 3 feet. You win. Little Billy won with 3 feet.
Strong little fucker.
Before he collapsed and he needed some Teddy Grahams. There's also a demolition derby. Mm-hmm. Those are fun. And fireworks display. Also classic car and motorcycle show as well. There are trophies for best paint and best of show for the cars. Best paint. I didn't know that was a thing. So,
if you've got a great paint job, you want a fucking award for it.
Yeah, look at me, my paint job. Also, they have the citywide, again, a little optimistic with the citywide garage sale.
Yeah, of course.
Again, another one of these. Jesus.
It runs, truck pulls and yard sales. Come on through.
It's a whole weekend. It's September 29th through October 1st. 3-day event, not to be missed, it says on the website here.
Really?
Mark your calendars and spread the word. Everybody, people are putting their old garbage in their front yards and then selling it. Would you like to haggle with your neighbors for some shit that's been in their attic for 15 years? Come on, let's go.
Break somebody's balls about 35 cents.
Jesus Christ. It's sponsored by the Swap Meet Flea Market. Also, they have a Sunday swap meet flea market. Shop till you drop and uncover hidden treasures throughout the community. See you there.
Every Sunday they do this anyway?
They do it anyway. But then they have a swap meet. But then on this particular weekend, everybody brings out their old shit, not just a few select people.
In just their own yard.
Yeah, that's it. There's an official garage sale map.
Oh.
So you have to call or text a guy named Corbin to get on the map, it says. So get Corbin in there.
We should call Corbin and get our home address put on this.
We definitely should. Let's all text Corbin. Let's not give out Corbin's phone number to hundreds of thousands of people. That would be terrible to do. It's on the website, though. It could happen.
Poor bastard.
That said, now that we have a setting for this place here, let's talk about a murder because
let's do it.
In this town, it's gonna be big news whenever someone is killed. Obviously,
oh for sure.
There's no one here, and it's very idyllic.
Corbin's getting a text about it.
Yeah, no shit. A lot of this, by the way, there's some good stuff that wasn't anywhere else from a New Yorker article called American Chronicles Stranger in Town by a guy named Calvin Trillin from 1988. So some good information in there. I want to give them a plug. If they had info no one else did, you're uncovering shit. So
you went and dug. Good for you.
Let's talk about a lady here.
Okay.
Let's talk about a lady. All right. Anna Marie Miller Anton is her name.
Okay. She's got two last names?
Born Anna Marie Miller, and her married name is Anton, and then she's divorced and keeps Anton. Apparently when she's younger, she goes by Susie, but then switches back to Anna later on in life.
What?
I don't know. People call her Susie for some reason. There was a lot of Susie as a nickname in the 60s because of there was a lot of Susie songs where that Wake Up Susie, or this one Susie. Yeah. A lot of Susie going on in the 60s. That was like
Anna Marie got some songs too.
Yeah, but the Susie was a lot of girls were nicknamed Susie in the 60s for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, like little girls. You'd call it little Susie Q, and then it would just be Susie after a while. That was a normal thing back then because we've had this is not the first person who was called Susie for no reason.
Okay.
That grew up in this era that we've talked about.
It's like a guy named Jeff being called Little Timmy.
It's weird. Yes, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. None. So born in Washington, D.C., apparently somehow, but grows up in Iowa, in like a small town in Iowa. So I don't know how that worked, but one of a friend of hers described her as a faint, late-blooming flower child who experimented with drugs and also had attempted suicide at some point in her teens.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. She was all into the hippie movement. She's born in 1952. So she is prime time for the hippie movement.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there. So that's what she's into. They said she was an attractive girl, blonde, petite, energetic. They said she had some problems, though, with drinking and drugs around the time she's graduating from high school. Her friends called her Spacey. That was her nickname. So she's known as kind of a flake, too. She'll kind of disappear once in a while. If there's a party going on, where'd Anna go? Or where'd Susie go? And she's gone for, who knows?
Really?
She just, on a whim decided to do something. She gets involved with a bunch of different religions as a teenager, too. Which, again,
trying it all. That's great.
And in the 60s, late 60s, early 70s, that was very normal. People were, that was a time of great religion shopping. People were looking for shit. That was when people were looking at Eastern religions. They were looking at all sorts of stuff. She became involved with Baha'i, B-A-H-A-I, Baha'i.
B-A-H.
Faith. And she went to work at a movie theater in town. And she was responsible enough to be left with the keys to the movie theater anyway. She could close up and do all that. So she's pretty, responsible when she has to be.
Not that spacey. Yeah.
But she gets out of that religion, and she's in a bunch of different religions here as well. She was a follower of the Rosicrucians at one point.
She dug deep.
Yeah.
Man.
And then after all of this, then she went to, and she was an intensely devout Episcopalian for a while, and then came full circle all the way back to being Catholic again, which is where she started. So she ran the gamut and was like, I don't know, I guess this was fine, whatever. So,
all these other calendars of holidays are fucking weird. They don't make any sense.
I just, I know what the medals mean. I know what the saints are.
Yeah.
It's enough I memorized it all. It's too much to study everything else.
When the jobs and the national holidays coincide with a certain religion, you tend to just go to that.
You just go to that.
It's so
like,
easy.
well, everyone's off on Christmas, so why not?
I'll just stick with this shit.
They said she was sincerely religious, all of her friends thought, and devout, but then she also would wander off for a few days if what they said, quote, a good party came along.
She's real Catholic.
So,
that's very Catholic.
That sounds Catholic. I mean, if she's drinking and doing that's I don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
She's Catholic.
I don't know where it's being separated here. I don't know. So they said she would spend long evenings in the kind of bars, in different bars, and where she would she would ask people. She'd have drinking contests with people about who could drink the most peppermint schnapps.
Ew.
So that's disgusting. But again, Catholic.
Yeah.
As
Catholic as it gets.
I grew up Catholic, and that's what I remember.
That's a fascinating talent to be able to put that shit away.
Oh,
Good
God.
for her.
Imagine not having heartburn after two of those. You'd be like,
Yeah.
I can't anymore. I can't. Jesus, Tums.
You can't do it. I'm going to lay down in a minute, and that's not going to be good.
Could you mix the next one with about 90% ginger ale, please? Because I feel like I need to settle my stomach. So they said her one friend said she was almost like two people. She wanted to be this moralistic person. She had some sort of religious deficit. Like she wanted to be that, but that really wasn't kind of who she was.
Yeah, because it's not fun.
It's not fun, exactly. That's what she thinks she should because she's in Iowa. I mean, everybody's, it's not cool in Iowa, I'm sure, to be like a hippie named Spacey. Back then, they were like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, so.
Spacey at communion.
You're not shucking this winter? What? I don't understand. So.
You put that thing on my tongue, but I'm not even tripping.
Yeah. She's like, that was bunk acid, man. You guys been to that one building? It's like super big. There's a bell on top and stuff. It goes off on the hour. Like this one dude, like he was dressed like he was like real, like fancy. Like he had these. I figured he'd have real good acid, but then he put it on my tongue, and I waited.
You put tabs on everybody's tongue. None of us got high.
Like a half hour later, I left. I was like, man, this shit still didn't kick in yet, but it'll kick in. And then like 2 hours later, I was like, this is bunk, man. This is bunk. I went back. I was like, yo, your stuff is no good, bro. And,
would that be a terrible prank to just like go put a bunch of drops on the communion wafers?
I'm sure it's been done before in hippie times.
That's a fantastic
in liquid acid
prank.
times.
Just to
have a bunch of people in their best clothes going batshit monkey in a zoo fucking crazy with each other because they don't know what's going on. It's the only way to stay in control on acid is to tell yourself you're on acid, you did this on purpose, and you should enjoy this. If you don't know why this is happening, you just think, God is coming for us all. Oh, God, it's the rapture. I knew it was happening. You have no idea what's going on. And the organ and the incense and everything. That would trip you. Dude, that would trip you.
The whole thing's
out.
a horror
The
show.
stained glass. Oh, God, get me out of this
chanting.
building. Jesus, they'd end up, people would be feasting over the open chest cavity of the priest and the altar boys in the front by the end of it. They wouldn't know what happened.
I'm torn between that being funny and not.
Well, it's not cool to give someone drugs they didn't ask for, so that's never cool. Funny is another story. Yeah. Hilarious, yes. Cool and funny can be two different things, Jimmy. So around, there's a woman who hires Anna as a babysitter. Mm-hmm. And I guess this woman said that the way Anna was whoever, she kind of would attach herself to older women that were mother figures.
Okay.
That she would work for and things like that. And then whenever she had problems, she just kind of leaned on these people like they were her mother. You know what I mean?
Oh.
She'd stay with people in between apartments, like the lady she babysat for and stuff like that. One of the people said, quote, she sort of had a tendency to drift along and have other people look after her.
Huh.
So, yeah, which I mean, a lot of young people are like that because they don't know how to take care of themselves yet.
Right.
You know?
And so late blooming.
Yeah, and late blooming, too. Yeah. 1975, she gets in a car accident, a one-car crash, just her, and it's bad for her, real bad. She was almost killed in this car accident. After that, she drags one leg and walks with a cane.
Oh no!
At 23, yeah, it's rough. It took her months to work her way up to getting around a little bit with just a cane. So she didn't need a wheelchair or a walker. She finds a husband after this. She marries a guy named Tom Anton. After she's incapacitated here. But this guy is known as kind of a grumpy son of a bitch. They said he had a bunch of different jobs, all just manual labor. He eventually went to vocational training school. And while he was there, then, the marriage fell apart. Welding school is tough on a marriage. Everybody knows that. It's an old saying. Usually when you get married, the person marrying you will be like, just, if he ever goes to welding school, no, it'll be difficult. So she turns to get a divorce from him. Mm-hmm. So when she's an adult now, a friend of hers in Iowa said that she's a woman who did not have a whole lot of things to look forward to in her life. She wasn't even 30 yet. She's not even 30 yet. Like,
calm down.
They had her dead and buried. Go sit in a room with some cats, you crippled bitch. Like all of her friends were. It's like, Jesus Christ.
It's over for you.
Yeah. How about some physical therapy and then, try to get out there and do whatever you got to do. I don't know. Like you can do that now. Nobody would tell her like, well, I guess you better just wither. So she didn't do very well in the divorce settlement because they didn't have anything. They were both young and he didn't have any money. So she got $1,000. And also her father gave her some appliances, and she has 3 large dogs. She has Irish setters. So
holy shit.
That's her package here. She is living pretty much rent-free in a farmhouse at one point here, and an arrangement with the local Catholic church that was made with the owner of the house that she could stay there. He was an elderly man, and he went into a nursing home, so they let her stay there to take care of the house. It was like, well, she needs a place to stay, and you need someone in the house. So the time the owner ends up dying, though, and the estate arranges to sell the property, she's got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So her church friends try to find her another place to stay, but they can't find a place for her. How hard is it to find a place for, I guess 3 large dogs is a problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem. So, I guess some of the people had stopped being friends with her because they thought she took advantage of them, had them chauffeur her around all the time, and wouldn't even seem grateful. She'd just be like, can you need to pick me up and take me here, and like it was a taxi service.
I need to be here, right?
Yeah, she'd stop being grateful. One said she was a very loyal friend, and she tried to give back, but she could be very demanding.
Huh.
So October 86, she ends up moving to Lyons, Nebraska. Which is a rural area. It's near Spencer, Iowa, is the next biggest town there. And no one moves here unless their family's here. This isn't like you don't just move to Lyons. There's no industry. Yeah. There's no jobs. It's not like a place you go. So it's really weird. Everyone's like, that's strange. Like, this is where your luck's going to change in a tiny, dusty town in Nebraska. It's strange. The sod capital, or the sad capital for you, it's going to be. It's really fucking strange. They had a main street. That's pretty much it. Main Street with that angled parking. That's that small town Main Street parking.
Plenty of room for those big dogs to run around.
Yeah, that's nice anyway. They said she didn't come to the town for relatives or a job. She had no connections. From everyone around there, they didn't think she had any connections, but there is a person she knows, and that's why she's here. She met a person. The mayor, Mary Piper, she said there wasn't a logical reason for her to be here. You know your town sucks when the mayor when
knows.
Someone moves there, they go, well, there's no logical reason to move here. That's the mayor. It was our beauty and our thing, and you can jobs here, and maybe she wants to start a small business. No logical reason. This place is really a shithole, I'll tell you. I don't know why she came. It's strange.
If it wasn't for me winning the mayorship, I'd have left a long time ago.
Yeah, I was trying to leave, and these people, they elected me. I wouldn't even run. I don't know what happened.
Forcing me to be here.
It was my turn. There's not a lot of people here, so we all have to take a turn. So she's got a cat as well. She lives in this, it's called the Pink House on the street. It's a pink house that was turned into a duplex with a downstairs apartment and an upstairs apartment. Used to be a single family home. So that's how this works. There's a inside stairway connects the two units.
Okay.
That's how it goes. So she depended on small disability. She got disability income and basically the kindness of strangers and neighbors and church people to take her places, run her errands, help her if she's short, that sort of thing here. She attended St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Lyons, and this is now she's still there, back into Catholicism. Some people said she appeared to be a person who lived in fear, which she would refuse to open the door until someone would identify themselves, which in small-town Nebraska and Iowa, that's considered strange because people there, a lot of them don't even lock their doors at this time.
Right. They're like, come in, it's open. Yeah. Jesus,
they have
make me get up
door
from the couch.
Yeah. But like, in a lot of other places, if you've ever lived in a city, you don't just open a fucking door. You find out who it is first. It might be a murderer for all you know. You ever heard the story, this show at all, ever?
Also, she's got a disability making her more vulnerable.
Exactly.
I want to know who the fuck is there before I'm opening this goddamn thing.
Totally. So a friend of hers named Shirley Edgecombe said she also seemed kind of skittish and said that that Anna gave her an envelope containing the name of a woman friend in Iowa to contact, quote, in case anything happens to me. She doesn't even know anybody there, so it's really weird. She also, by the way, that accident where she's dragging her leg, she also has facial scars. She has to wear a lot of makeup to cover it. She's self-conscious of it. People in Lyons, and this is quotes from people, said that she looked like a pretty woman who had been through some troubles. One man at the Highway Cafe said, quote, she had some mileage on her.
Sir.
That's his quote.
What a thing to say about something.
As she drags her leg. Well, that one, what is she, about 150,000 miles on that bad boy? She's going to need a transmission at some point. Oof. Her fluids are all clotted up at this point. I don't like that. She had curly, bleached blonde hair, and they said she wore it over to one side, and people in Lyons, they said either people thought it was over glamorous. Oh, she just had her hair pushed over to the side. Oh, with a cane, dragging her foot with facial scar. Look at her, thinks she's a movie star. Who thinks she's Sophia Loren now?
Goddamn, I don't know. We're around here with the Queen of fucking England.
Oh, look at her, fancy. You gonna wave to everybody as you float on by?
That's your fucking coronation.
Jesus,
nice hair, lady.
Or they just thought she was odd.
Okay.
They said it was kind of like 60s-ish, the way it looked. Still kind of stuck in the 60s there. But she had a hard time even walking a few blocks from where she lived to the stores on Main Street. She didn't have a car. There's no public transportation. There's no cabs or anything like that. Yeah. So she needs assistance. So people would do that. People would help her. They'd drive her around. They'd go back and forth. People said that Lyons might have been the reason why she came here is because it was kind of, she was looking for, one person said she was looking for a peaceful place where no one was likely to run across her. People said she was vague about where she came from, just somewhere in Iowa. And she said that except for a nun who forwarded her mail, no one back there knew where she was. She said it was important that no one back there knew where she was because she feared for her life. She's basically Julia Roberts in Sleeping with the Enemy.
Yeah.
Vague backstory. I live in this house. I don't know. Don't worry about it. People can't know where I am.
She's very fascinating.
She's fascinating. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
She said she told one friend that she'd been in a bad marriage and was still afraid of her former husband, who had once shot out the windows of the farmhouse that she was living in, that old man's farmhouse.
Yeah.
She said she turned in her husband and some of his friends for selling drugs and feared their retaliation. Okay. She said this person said she had showed, quote, some people in town a newspaper clipping about a drug ring arrest in Iowa and said that this all had come as a result of her tip. So she talked about being constantly afraid, and that's when she gave her friend a thing and said, if anything happens to me, this is who you contact.
Okay.
So, I mean, she might just be a lonely person that wants to make herself sound important, too. Or she might be afraid of her ex-husband, or, I mean, I'm saying if you're a person who doesn't know her and you're just looking in, you're like, I don't know what the deal with her is. But, okay, take it at face value, I guess. I don't know her, so maybe this is all true. So
the drug thing has me baffled because she loves drugs.
She did love drugs at one point, but it's straight. Yeah, it's weird. So the apartment she used to live in, or she lives in now in Lyons, the downstairs apartment of this pink house, used to be occupied by a woman who all the neighbors called, quote, the Floozie. The 80s Iowa, guys.
Yeah.
The Floozie. Look at her. She put eye makeup on. Look at that. Oh, Jesus. What a Floozie. I saw her talk to a man once. They said among other...
They went around the back of the building together, only he came out.
And what they described doesn't seem to be a Floozie thing as much as a bad parent thing. She had constantly neglected her two small children to the point that the county came and took them away from her.
Oh, my.
In the 80s, so you really had to fuck up. You're still allowed to beat your kids back then, so just had to let them wander. Neighbor across the street noticed the new tenant, being Anna, and went over and welcomed her and all that sort of thing. And they said this woman across the street said she's totally different than the Floozie. She said the apartment looked the same, but now it's spotless and it's nice. It doesn't look like a mess. And, she said she's a devout Catholic. She attended services. She kept rosary beads and a supply of holy water around the house in case she's got to bless something. In case I got to throw a blessing on something real quick. You never know. You don't know. She called her dogs her babies. She doesn't have any kids. One of the volunteers at church drove her to Tacoma. I don't care if the story's not about this town, so don't tell me how it's pronounced. I don't care. To see about the paperwork for her disability check, and the church was providing her with some groceries. A neighbor drove her to Winnebago, which is on the Indian reservation. There, it's about 20 miles away. She wanted to see about registering at community college for a law enforcement course that might lead her to work as a parole or probation officer. That's what she's trying to do here. So people from church would bring her food. The guys put up her storm coverings on the windows, and people took care of people. She has a support group here. People said that, they would say, who's going to go pick up Anna? Do we need to take anything to Anna? Everybody was very worried about her. Now, maybe she doesn't have a lot to fear in this house because her upstairs neighbor is a guy named Gregory Webb.
Yeah.
And he is the reason why she's in Lyons, by the way.
Oh.
Nobody knows that at the time in town, but he met her at a bar and told her, you should come to Lyons. The place below me just opened up. And she said, sure. That's how she ended up here. Greg is a 6'7", 225-pound police chief.
Holy shit.
And who takes the cruiser home. So she has a cruiser parked outside of her house at all times and a gigantic man with a gun upstairs who's sworn to protect her. So, she's got Hopper upstairs. So that's pretty good for her.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
I guess. They said he was kind of an aloof, unemotional, humorous guy. Everybody said he kept very to business. Hopper. Exactly. Not angry, though.
Yeah.
He was drunk, as we'll talk about here.
He was drunk,
They said he was competent and cooperative, and unlike Hopper was in the beginning, when he was just drunk.
Right.
So in season 1. So it was only a 2-man police force. So Chief is really you want to do rock, paper, scissors for this?
We win by measuring.
Well,
how tall are you? I'm bigger.
Well, no, he took paper, and I have a strategy to always pick rock always pick rock, and this time it didn't work out for me. So I'm not the chief. He'd been divorced for a few months now. People said he was a good lawman, had a knowledgeable, got a knowledge of guns and knew police stuff. He was skilled at reading fingerprints back before you just put it in a computer. Yeah. The one deputy who worked with him, the other deputy in the town, said he was cool, smooth, and not easily excited. I've never seen him display an ill temper. All right. So they said that this is not a lot for a cop to do here. This is like, a teenager knocked over a mailbox.
Job on the planet.
Literally. Yeah. It's what Hopper did. A teenager with a mailbox. Your pumpkins are weird. Let's look at them. Right. Shit like that. One guy said a lot of the job is in the category of being a night watchman. A lot of it is boredom. The point is mainly to have a presence there. If you don't have someone, the lowlifes know they can come in and do anything. They'll come in and take over the town. So Anna met Greg Webb at the Dry Dock Lounge.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's one letter away from the worst.
Dry Cock Lounge. Nobody wants that. Oh, by the way, speaking of dry, Lyons is a dry town, too, by the way.
Really?
Yes, dry town.
So that's how he met her, by leaving to go get wet.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
good for him.
Let's go get some dry cock in a wet place.
Yeah.
According to one of her friends, quote, everything else had shut down on her and she needed a place to live, and he told her about the place, and within a few days, she got help from a friend to help her move her belongings, and she borrowed some money from a priest to rent a van, and there you go. They said that she seems like she thought it would be safer to have a police cruiser outside the front of the house. Now, a little more about Greg. He, in 1977, he was a Burt County deputy sheriff when he left the force. This was 9 years earlier, to go to Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe.
Where the Ridgebacks are at. That's far.
As basically he went to be a mercenary paid by the Rhodesian government to keep a rebel uprising down.
Wow.
That's what he signed on for. But
how do you even find that gig?
He injured his knee in training and then figured out after 10 weeks that he wasn't the money they paid him, you were not allowed to leave the country with that money.
Oh?
So he's like, okay, if I stay here, I have to live here forever to spend the money. Why am I here? He didn't know that at first. And then they said, you can't leave with this money. This stays in the country. And he went, oh, well, fuck this then. And he went home. The sheriff said of another county said, when he came back, everyone had tagged him as a killer mercenary. So they said, where you been? Doing mercenary work in Rhodesia for the government, putting down rebels.
Oh, okay. Fuck that is. All right, that's scary.
That sounds terrifying. So 10 weeks there. They said he had... when he was there, one friend said, quote, he had connections with Soldier of Fortune magazine. Here we go again. Again. He admired that lifestyle, but he didn't pursue it, one said. So he attended a Soldier of Fortune training camp in Arizona in 1981, though.
What?
Oh, yeah. Maintained military equipment, a supply of survival foods, and kept a small cache of weaponry here. 2 AR-15s. And a couple of rifles here, ones that were favored by mercenaries in Africa that he found.
Jesus Christ.
He only read war books and saw war movies. His friend Carla said, quote, he was ready for the Russians to come. He was ready for it.
What a weird way to live.
This guy watched a few too many Hulk Hogan promos in 1985 and got a little too carried away with this whole shit. The Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov are not really coming for you. They said that he was actively involved in a chapter of the Committee of 10 Million, which is a militia that is based on, it's like a Red Dawn style militia, except they have nothing to fight. They're just running around in circles.
Just out there, training.
In his personal life, he has a 12-year-old son that he doesn't seem to see very often. He's divorced. He saw a bunch of women in the area. But they said he would see people outside of town a lot because he was worried about his reputation.
Oh.
His friend said he was worried about gossip. Didn't want any gossip because he's the chief of police.
Nobody here,
Small town. Some of the kids in the high school called him G.I. Joe because his only interest was in military stuff and he wore camouflage pants all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah, that's what he is. He loved Soldier of Fortune. That's his favorite magazine.
That's so wild.
It's, again, that comes up. It's the third time now, but that one, was that last week that came up? Yeah. So the mayor said he was capable and intelligent, and she thought it was a good idea for him to keep away from the local people, keep a distance, because basically you don't want to have to be buddies with someone that you're going to pull over for drunk driving 2 days later. Keep a distance here. At one point, he told a friend that he'd been recruited to take part in an operation that was to place a number of mercenaries in El Salvador. And then that didn't work out.
Okay.
So that didn't work out at all, and so here he is. He gets divorced. He'd never been a drinker in the past, but his friend said since he's been divorced, he's started drinking a lot.
Oh, boy, do you tie it on.
And especially, he really liked Mad Dog 2020. Loved that.
Really?
Which is the cheap wine that we used to drink when I was a teenager that came in like strawberry flavor and shit. Yeah.
The man's got a job, and he's drinking that?
Mad Dog 2020. That is...
Gotta get the dog in me.
That's some shit you share with your friends in an alley in a very sad day. We've all done it.
Because a homeless man bought it for you.
Yeah, because you paid him $3. You had to buy him one, too. That was what it is. That's how it works. We've done that. So one friend said they noticed the drinking, and this other sheriff learned that Webb showed up drunk one day for a freelance deputy sheriff shift he occasionally pulled, so they didn't hire him for that again.
Oh, my God.
Drunk policing. I guess they said conversations with his friend would turn more and more toward drinking and womanizing as this went on. You know, he talked about going to Arnold's Park, which is between East and West Lake Okoboji in the area of northern Iowa. He likes to go there. And he said one day in 86, while having a drink at the Dry Dock, the Dry Dock Lounge is in the Four Seasons Motel, not the Four Seasons Hotel, the Four Seasons Motel. It's a different place.
How dare they? How are they allowed?
He was hanging out with Jake
it's the
of the
number
Lake.
4?
Yeah. Just no, it's not either. It's 4 seasons spelled out.
Really?
Yeah. He's hanging out with a guy named Jake of the Lake. That's who he's.
Good dude.
Yeah.
It's always a Jake.
That's when he met Anna and talked him up. She said that everybody said that in town she seemed intensely religious. Anna said they said she talked all the time about how she wanted to get rid of those druggies.
Okay.
Very angry at that. Said she hated drugs and liquor.
Oh.
Even though she just met this guy at a bar.
At the bar.
Yeah, again, she doesn't like gossip either, obviously. Greg, by the way, he'd been banging the Floozie.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess they said.
Downstairs?
Yeah, and would still receive occasional visits from her.
Oh.
Anna would tell people that she heard Webb and the Floozie upstairs at night, and it disgusted her. Look at them fornicating. They're fornicating.
Fucking.
Disgusting. Yeah, right.
Oh, my God.
She was absolutely disgusted as soon as she got done diddling herself, I'm sure. So, no, I don't know if she was doing that. I'm not saying. No, but yeah, she said that she assured their damnation, by the way, by sprinkling holy water on the stairs going up to his apartment.
Oh.
And told her friends she felt uncomfortable in his presence.
She has to walk through this blessed water.
That's it. Take that.
To get her cock. Yep.
That's it. And then then what happens? You go right to hell, I guess. I don't know. She did say, though, that she felt safe living below a police chief. So that was good. You know, she said it was nice having the cruiser out front. But then we find out that Anna and Greg were hooking up, too. She says all this to the outside. Yes, I mean, it's that protest too much shit here with both of them. He doesn't want the gossip, and neither does she. She doesn't want to be the new lady in town who's also a Floozie now.
Right.
Floozie, too.
The new Floozie in town.
The gimpy Floozie over here. Nobody wants that. So acquaintances said that there was no romantic relationship between them. One friend said she always insisted she didn't have anything going on with him or have anything to do with him. But her friends in Iowa say, oh, no, yeah, they were hooking up. He met her at a bar in Iowa. She just purported herself as a completely different human being when she got to Nebraska. I hate drugs. I hate drinking. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. I'm a church person. But she's got another side. They said that, she was hooking up with him, basically. And they said on the October night when a friend of hers from Iowa helped her move into this apartment, they said that Anna slept upstairs with Greg in his apartment. Well, this guy slept downstairs in Anna's new apartment.
Oh.
Now, about a month later, this guy said he got a letter from Anna where she wrote that she planned to take a trip to Iowa with Greg, and said in this, quote, she didn't know if she could stand to be with him that long. And signed the letter lonely, in shock, and hopeful.
Oh, like a fucking...
Weird.
Editorial? What are they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a personal ad. Or
personal
like
ad, yeah.
Like a Dear Abby type shit back, like an old newspaper thing. December 15th, 1986. No one has seen her this day. And I guess the next day, Shirley Edgecombe, the neighbor across the street, was supposed to pick her up and take her to the food pantry and get some food. And there's no answer on the door. So she goes back the next day, still no answer. And they said they were worried that she's unsteady on her feet. Maybe she fell and hurt herself too badly to get to the door. So they talk to Greg, who's upstairs, and they say,
the welfare check is right upstairs. Yeah.
Can you help us? And he has a key to the place, so he helps him out. Lets him in. Anna's not there.
Okay.
Her cane's not there either.
Oh.
So wherever she is, her 3 dogs are all in the basement.
Oh.
And they said no arrangements had been made with anyone to have them fed or taken out or anything like that. They're just down there. And they said she called her dogs her babies and would dote on them, and that was weird that she would leave. That's just very weird. And they said also, where the hell did she go? She has no transportation. We're the people she depends on. What the fuck? So Shirley opens up the envelope and calls the person that she's supposed to call, a woman named Sylvia Nelson, who lives in Iowa. And when she gets a hold of Sylvia tells her, she's like, oh my God, Anna took off and she's not here, her cane's not here, and she's very dependable. This isn't like that. And her friend Sylvia said, this isn't unusual at all for her to take off suddenly. This is She told her, trust me, if she gets an invitation to a party that seems promising, she'll take off for a few days. That's how she is. And they were like, Anna Anton?
She hates booze.
That's not the person we're talking about. But they were like, I mean, I guess it's good that we know that maybe she takes off sometimes. It means she's probably safe, so that's good. Who knows? So December 17th, though, there is it's a little strange. Now Webb decides that she still didn't come home, Greg Webb, and he said, I am going to go ahead and file a missing persons report on her since he's a cop.
I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he does that. She doesn't turn up here. 12 days go by. Christmas passes.
What about the dogs?
Christmas night. Other people are taking care of them.
No, I mean, she would have to feed them if they were babies. What the fuck?
12 days go by.
Wow.
And then in Walt Hill, Nebraska, a farmer was going to get some hay for his livestock.
Oh, no.
Drives down a dirt road to some land he leased on the Winnebago reservation and sees, well, the quote is, he saw something sticking out of the grass. It was an arm.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a woman who fits the description of Anna. She is naked and shot 3 times.
Really?
Twice in the side, once in the head, .38 caliber, naked with frost on her, covered in a blanket, like wrapped in a blanket.
Arm hanging out of the grass.
Yes, arm sticking up from rigor. It was in high grass along County Road G, which is an unmaintained dirt road on the Winnebago reservation, about 20 miles away.
Yeah.
So, frost is on her, 3 bullet holes from a .38. Like we said, when they talked to Webb about this, because he's the neighbor and then the police chief, so he said that, I gave her a .38 for her protection. She was always real paranoid, so I said, well, I have an extra .38. Keep that in your desk drawer. You know what I mean? That'll keep you safe. Yeah. So the headline the next day is Slaying Stuns Community. And it's, holy shit. Greg Webb was quoted as saying she had a very positive attitude with a strong faith in God. And other people said she seems pretty nice. That's the basic thing here. Yeah. Seemed like a nice lady. So they, rather than the police now, because it's on a reservation. So
yeah, that's another thing. Is it police reservation? Reservation police?
No, that's the problem. Usually if it's found on the reservation, then the body, then it would be the FBI involved. But because she's from Lyons and there's no evidence she was killed on the reservation, so now they think it happened in Lyons, so they have to have Lyons involved. They also have the state involved. They have counties involved. There's like 8 different police forces involved here. They all meet up, not at a police station, at the Highway Cafe. That's where they have their little sit-downs. That's where they have their command center.
Biscuits and gravy and murder conversation.
Yep, they said it was a convenient place because they could get food and everything was there. And one of them, there's a reporter there going through this as this is happening. And one of the police officers said, quote, let's face it, if you find a body on an Indian reservation, first thing you think of is Indians.
What?
Did you find an arrow in her back by any chance?
Does he mean like?
Did she have a scalp or not? Yeah, that her fucking horse and buggy might have been overtaken. Yeah. Her wagon was overtaken by Indians, is what they say.
A man with a white horse and a red handprint on the ass of it probably did it.
I'm pretty sure.
What are we talking about?
Check her for hatchet marks and.
Unbelievable.
So that's pretty fucking ridiculous. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going. Look good out there. And you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable. And you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, well, still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us, be fashionable, get in there with Quince, indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff, and I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool, and you can personalize this portion, and you can put filters on it, and get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Calling all dog owners. Your furry friend deserves top-notch nourishment, and Ollie delivers the clean, fresh nutrition your dog needs in 5 flavors they'll absolutely flip over. Ollie is made in U.S. kitchens with ingredients carefully sourced from trusted growers and producers around the world, with absolutely no harmful fillers or preservatives. With protein-first recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes, fresh turkey with blueberries, or fresh lamb with cranberries, you might start thinking, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. Give your pup a fresh start this new year by letting them taste test a personalized meal plan with Ollie. Head to ollie.com/Wondery. Tell them all about your dog and use code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box of meals when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a clean bowl guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/Wondery and enter code WONDERY to get 60% off your first box. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie. Start your dog's new year off right with Ollie.
But they said that there had been a report that two Native Americans in a pickup truck had been seen in Lyons that day, and that a similar truck had been spotted near where the body was discovered.
Okay.
So they said at that point they also had to think of, was this her ex-husband?
Okay.
Is that it? Or maybe that's it here. So maybe finally. So they made a call to Iowa to figure out her husband, Tom, had not been involved in a drug raid and that Anna was not an informant. She never had a tip. He was never arrested. All of that was made up. And she did not. She was not afraid of anybody because no one was mad at her.
Why did she do that?
That's the thing. Who knows? She had a complete Julia Roberts story, only there wasn't a psycho ex-husband. He was like, I don't fucking care. I don't even know where she moved to. He was like, whatever.
Created a new life.
Yeah, I didn't get busted. I'm not pissed off at her. What are you talking about? Like he was, and all the people that knew her family was like, she didn't get that. Never happened. Like, just never happened. So the one cop said he didn't put much stock in the story about Indians either. He said he hadn't had a chance to do a lot of work on this, but he said this seems kind of silly. He said, but Greg Webb is the guy who's upstairs, so he's the guy he wants to talk to. December 28th, he talks, rather than talking to these cops, he does talk to these cops. They ask him whether he'd ever slept with Anna. And he says, absolutely not. And then he said, okay, we slept together her first night in Lyons, but never again after that.
Okay.
And the cop said, that didn't sound true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And that's the thing, because during the whole time she's telling all the church people that this guy disgusts her, they're sleeping together the whole time.
Right.
They're hanging out together. One Webb had taken her to a friend of his house who lives near Sioux City, who's another gun guy who teaches at a community college, and had mentioned her resentment of his continued attentions to the Floozie. She brought up to his friend. He's still banging this one chick, though, and I don't like it. This guy said of Anna, quote, she reminded me of Holly Golightly. from Breakfast at Tiffany's. That's the character from Breakfast at Tiffany's. Carefree, kind-hearted, but flaky.
Okay.
As they said, it became clear that, Greg is the guy they want to talk about, but he's also involved in this, so we need to get him out of the conversation.
Right.
So they said they were suspicious because the body was left without clothes. They said that the body seemed to have been cleaned. There wasn't any hair or fibers on it at all.
Oh.
So that's interesting. They said the body was left in a place that could cause jurisdictional complications, and that, they think maybe this is somebody who knows about law enforcement techniques here.
Not bad.
So they search her apartment, and the test shows small amounts of blood on the walls and floor of her apartment. They said there was no way of knowing whether it was her types unless they got further tests. So they traced the blood, by the way. They followed it into the hallway outside her apartment, then found more on the wall leading up the stairs.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So there's talk about trying to get a search warrant for Greg's apartment, and or maybe we could just ask him if he'll let us search without a warrant.
Yeah,
He's a cop,
Yeah.
So they said, yeah, why not? But they said, no, let's not. It's untyped blood. We don't even know if it's his. Let's not, because that's going to look bad if he didn't do anything, and now we're bringing the police chief into this. He'll never be able to be the police chief again. Also, we ran out of luminol. They ran out of luminol. We're like, well, we'll come back tomorrow when we get more. We got to stop at the
squirt bottle just out.
Got to stop at the crime scene store real quick. Pick one of those up on the way back. Jesus Christ. So then the lab test confirms that it's Anna's blood type all over the place here, because that's all they can do at that time. This is 5 days later, though, this happens after they get into all this. December 30th, Mayor Piper runs into Greg Webb as he's walking out of the First National Bank.
Yeah.
They spent a few minutes discussing some juvenile problems. There was some graffiti over here, something like that. Webb said he's thinking of taking a few days off of vacation time here for the, New Year's holiday. And then he didn't clock in for the rest of the week. So the mayor assumed that he figured he's taking his PTO. But in actuality, he took every goddamn dime he had out of First National Bank that day, $3,500, and he's gone. Fled.
What?
Took the hell off from the area. Gone.
What the shit?
So they get a warrant and search his apartment on January 3rd, and they find a shitload of blood.
Really?
Same type as Anna, same blood from downstairs.
And he's gone.
One of the neighbors said, we were kind of jittery around here. What frightened people, was that Greg Webb had been a policeman here for 10 years. He knew our routines. He knew our schedules.
Why would he do this?
That's what's so crazy. A former mayor named Spike Going is his name.
Really?
Yeah, Spike. He said that he knew that Webb was not. No, this is bullshit. He said that he was convinced that Webb somehow became entangled in somebody else's troubles and was fleeing the killers rather than the law. He's afraid too, because he's a humongous guy with an AR-15 in his fucking house. He's terrified of people, obviously.
Who happens to be the most powerful man in town.
The chief of police.
Right.
Spike said, he didn't do it, and I'll go to my grave believing that. I think the man knows who did it, but I don't think he did it. The only reason she came here was to hide from the underground to begin with, the Al Capone type people. A few white trash people with some drugs in the middle of fucking northern Iowa, the Al Capone type people. Holy shit.
That man is very easily frightened.
Wow. Once you're in the underground, you don't get out alive. She had marked her husband or somebody. So she must have ratted, and they were all after. He's seen a lot of movies, this guy.
That man should you should have to pass a competency test to watch the news or see
or vote.
movies.
I want that guy. I want to find out if he's okay in the head before he's allowed to vote. No, he ran a town, Jimmy. He was a year removed from running the town. He wasn't like the mayor 30 years ago. He was just the mayor. Al Capone types. Once you're in the underground, you don't get out alive.
Is that right, Spike?
Wow. January 6, 1987, he is charged, Webb is, with first-degree murder. They have nothing to go on other than blood in his house and the fact that he took off, but they're going to charge him. That's January 7th. He calls a cop that he knows in the area named Douglas, and there's an operator that connects the call for him, and this operator has a foreign accent.
Oh.
So they're like, that's weird. Yeah, this this Douglas was a substitute officer in Oakland, which is 8 miles away.
Yeah.
And Webb called to see if his name was on the national crime computer.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they told him that you're being sought for the crime, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So Webb wouldn't tell this guy where he was, and that was that. So It's interesting here. He did tell Douglas that what happened, though, in his version. He said, I woke up to find Anna dead on the kitchen floor. She was dead on December 16th. We were heavy drinking that night, the two of us. We were tying one on. Woke up, she's dead on the kitchen floor. So I didn't know what to do. So I wrapped her up in a sheet. I dumped her out in a field. I didn't know what the hell's going on here. So I took off.
Huh.
Okay.
Bad story.
This cop doesn't tell everyone else about it for 11 days.
What?
Yeah, 11 days. This is good policing here.
Fantastic.
The sheriff in the next town says police officers are tough to catch. He knows all of our moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, January 20th, his car is found at the Houston International Airport where he had purchased an airline ticket to Belize.
Yeah.
In Central America. And someone had gotten on the plane using that ticket. His car was found, his original car was found at a car dealership called Jalopy John's Used Cars.
Yeah.
He had a 71 Mercury Cougar that this guy bought from Webb.
Cool car.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And he traded that in for some other car, another car that's the one they found at the airport.
Okay.
So people are freaking out in this town, by the way.
I bet.
Neighbor says, quote, it makes you feel a little scared when you hear about this person you trust for the town's well-being. It's a small community, and you don't expect something like this. The mayor said the town is as safe as ever. She said,
don't worry, everybody.
Everything's fucking fine. It's all good. But one neighbor said, I think people around here are afraid he'll be back to kill everyone. What would make you feel like that?
700 people? That's a lot of people to kill.
It's, we're going to kill all of them. One says, quote, a lot of people say he was a Green Beret commando type guy. But he was probably one of the best police chiefs this town's had. Yeah. I was probably closer to him than anybody in the town of Lyons. This is some guy here. But our conversations were strictly business.
He's going to have shoe polish camouflage coming out from under your bed, snap your neck in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's going to be like Willem Dafoe in Platoon. He's looking to go in the tunnels. So,
get everybody.
Months pass.
Mm-hmm.
Months passed. And one waitress said, do you think the survivalists are hiding him somewhere? Because they know he's in like this militia thing. One guy said, hell no. Guy sitting at the counter here. A retired farmer, quote, wearing a blue jumpsuit and a seed company hat.
That's called overalls.
Yeah. That's why I said jumpsuit. What are we talking about? He said, quote, nope. I heard he was working at a pork factory in Mexico, but he had to move on.
Pork factory.
But he had to move on. You know why?
Yeah. Why?
Because the pig squealed on him. I really hope she put ground up glass on his food. I really do. Someone needs to.
Did he say that?
He said that. And the reporter said, Jesus Christ. Then another farmer said, I hope somebody shoots the son of a bitch before they can catch him. Okay. Here's another neighbor. I think he must have been with drugs or something. Or maybe Anna found him and the Floozie together. Her name is just the Floozie in this town. She doesn't even have a fucking name.
Poor thing.
Who really knows what happened? You have to wonder what she and Webb talked about, one said. I can't see relating Catholic mysticism to AK-47 attack rifles. They had different interests.
Right.
1989 here, by April, it's on Unsolved Mysteries. They do it. Oh, yeah.
Robert Stack. Unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, it's one of them in the first season, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, and they have it on Unsolved Mysteries, and it's a big deal. They film something in the Highway Cafe in town. They film the reenactments. So where the fuck did he go?
Belize, at least.
Well, we know he went to Belize, but he said he didn't stay there because, quote, they charge you a fortune, twice as much as they do in the United States for a hotel. Sheets on the bed in my room look like they hadn't been changed in 6 months, and there's no bathroom.
Okay.
So he left there. He took off here. He ended up meeting a Frenchman, and they went with other Europeans and took a bus to Guatemala City.
What?
Where they went to a bar where Americans and Europeans were welcomed. He said there's one light bulb lighting up the stairs, but it was a pretty good place. Good drinks, nice band. But then out of nowhere, guys in black suits come in carrying assault rifles. They were anti-terrorist police looking for rebels. Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
So he goes to Costa Rica looking for work. He said he used buses to travel because they were cheap. And he said there were hardly any jobs down there. It's weird. It's like, why else? Weird. It's so strange that it's like, I wondered why people kept coming here, and then I got down there, well, there's no fucking jobs down here. Weird. He said, and eventually you run out of money because you got to eat. So he took a bus through Mexico and crossed the border back in at Nogales and went to Tucson.
Really?
Then he moved to Florida for a construction job.
Wow.
That's what he meant to do. He said he was going to work 6 months and go back to Central America with some money, but then he met a woman named Pam Gilroy and fell in love and stayed.
Oh, God damn it. It's always a Pam.
In Daytona Beach with Pam.
Old Pammy in Daytona.
Yep. He altered his birth certificate, changing Gregory John Webb to Gregory James Weber. Okay, got a Florida driver's license under his assumed new name.
Wow.
And he's a Florida construction worker now. So
unbelievable.
He said if anything came up with his social security numbers, if there was anything, he'd just leave and not come back to that job.
Yeah.
So he stays there. He says, it's a good thing I met Pam, but as a result of meeting her, it was just a matter of time before I got caught.
Yeah.
And she, by the way, has 5 kids, Pam, and knew he was a fugitive and didn't care.
She knew?
She knew. He said, I feared being caught all the time. I was even stopped by the police a few times.
I bet.
He's there until 1994. Years go by. He marries, by the way, later on and everything, marries this Pam. This Pam is a forgiving lady.
No doubt.
He said he would scan the television guides for episodes of himself on crime shows.
Yeah.
He said during a rerun, he would leave town and visit an imaginary sick relative. He said, I would always square it away at work and square it away at home. That way, if nobody showed up, I could come back and it was just like before. That way, if people saw him on the show and then cops came. Then he gets the police get a tip here. A guy calls, and it's a guy that he recognized as a construction worker he knew as Jim Weber. So it looked a lot like him, except this guy has a beard and longer hair, the guy I know, but still. So he said, so he called the police.
Sure.
And this Krieger, who's the cop who doesn't buy any Webb shit, he said he asked the one guy, I asked him what kind of boots he wore and what he drank, which is a very smart move.
Yeah.
He knows he's specific to some boots, combat type shit, and he knows what he drinks. Is that your guy? And he said, quote, I knew Webb would be wearing the military-style boots.
You bet.
So they went to Florida. They contact his latest employer. The employer summons him to the company office, and the FBI and local police come in here.
Uh-oh.
The Krieger guy said, they asked me how I wanted it to go, and I said all I wanted to do was put the cuffs on him. So a local cop had to actually put the cuffs on him, and then Krieger could take the custody. That's just the rules around there. Yeah. Krieger said he walked into the office and said, hi, Greg, remember me?
How you doing?
And Webb turned to him and said, quote, what took you so long?
I've had to raise 5 kids, you son of a bitch.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. On the way home, they talked about where he'd been and all this shit. He was telling me that at one point they were in a canoe in Central America and he had to bail water out of a canoe and,
wow.
Holy shit.
Almost died several times.
That's what he said. February 1993 that's when all that happened, about 8 a.m. He goes to court charged with first-degree murder, but they plead with him. They let him plead. They let him do a plea deal because they don't have any evidence other than blood. Yeah. And what he said to that other guy. You know, but that's who knows. So they charge him. They let him plead down to a charge of manslaughter and tampering with a body, tampering with evidence. So before his sentencing, he does an interview. Webb does, and he says, I have no criminal history. I wasn't out robbing banks in Florida or anything. He said, I should be fine.
Why'd you do this?
Then they said, why did it take them 6 years to track you down? And he said, quote, these guys are so stupid. They had my airline tickets. They knew I was on a plane and went to Belize, and they never sent any warrants down there, and they never told the people in Central America about me. They were just like, well, he's gone. So the judge gives him, you, sir, may fuck off. He is sentenced to between 8 years and 4 months and 19 years, somewhere in there.
Wow.
Yep, he'll be eligible for parole in 35 months, less than 3 years.
Oh, my God.
Less than 3 years. He said, joking around as they took him from court, quote, "I'll probably meet some new and exciting people in there." Laughing.
I'll bet.
And his lawyer said the fact that he's eligible for parole in little under 3 years is a pretty good result.
The best, maybe.
Yeah.
And he's 6'7", so he's going to do fine in fucking jail.
He's going to be in PC because he was a cop anyway, so he'll be in protected
He's an ex-cop.
custody.
He's an ex-cop who murdered and is going to get out mad early. They are not going to like him.
No, well, August of 2002 he gets out, so they keep him for almost 8 years.
Time.
Yeah, he had to do 8 years and 4 months, I guess. But then there was
they got him.
They got him on they made him do the minimum rather than his parole dates, which is good because he fucking ran away. So nowadays he's a retiree in Florida.
Get the fuck out of here!
Absolutely, this magazine called him up and he did an interview. He said he answers his phone, and he said, quote, my lawyer wanted to go to trial. He thought we had viable alternative suspects. When I asked him if he would win, he said, well, we never know how it'll go with a jury. So he said he took the deal to not roll the dice with the jury. They were going to try to say that this was either one of his ex-girlfriends or one of her ex-boyfriends broke in and did this while he was sleeping. His story is interesting here. So
it's a wild one.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Now, they said they don't believe any of what he said, the Krieger guy, the cop. He says cleaning the body, disposing of the clothes, dumping the body in the middle of nowhere. A regular person wouldn't think of those things.
Right.
He knew what he was doing.
Very calculated.
Webb says, quote, we had been drinking a lot that night. I woke up to the sound of 2 gunshots. I was still drunk when I found her body. And by the way, Anna's autopsy revealed her blood alcohol level was like over twice the legal limit, which was 0.10, so 0.20 and over. Very drunk. They were drinking. I mean, they were hanging out at home. He claims that fearing he'd be blamed for the death, because it's obviously, he's a cop, he'd blame him.
Yeah.
He took her body into the bathroom to clean it, get all the forensic evidence off, then wrapped it in a sheet, carried it down the stairs, placed it in the trunk of his personal car, and drove away. As it got light out, he noticed he had some blood on his face when he looked in the rearview mirror. He had planned to dump the body on the Iowa side of the Missouri River so they wouldn't suspect him, but when he saw the blood, he changed his plans. He said, I saw this old gravel dirt road, went down it. He threw the gun in the Missouri River. Why would he throw the gun if he didn't
Why
shoot
would you
her?
do that?
Yeah, exactly. How would he know what caliber it was to throw away? And
why would you even touch it?
That's what I mean, freak out, and hid her cane in an abandoned farm building. Krieger says horse shit. He said, quote, it's an unmaintained road. You don't just drive down it on a whim. You have to know how to dispose of a body, and that was a good area to do it. Yep. He said, I needed to get then he said he was going to go back and get it because he thought he fucked up. He said, I needed to get the body and bring it back and get things straightened out. He was going to go get it and bring it back and go, sorry, I have the body. I planned to call the sheriff and we go from there, but I couldn't find the body. I drove all over looking for the body. I realized I was totally screwed no matter what happened.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ. Then they said, are you upset you ran away? He said, at least I had 6 more years of freedom than I might have otherwise had.
Wow, man.
Yep. He says, one of the things I want people to know is that I quit drinking after all that. Of course, getting arrested kind of led to it. That's what he said. Oh, in prison?
Mad Dog did this?
Holy shit, man. That's ridiculous. Krieger said he was a law enforcement agent. He knew better. He should have been sent to prison for murder because I still believe he planned it. He also, one guy, the next sheriff over, said, quote, if Webb did it, I think it was because he blacked out from drinking.
Fascinating.
So, yep, they said that's what happened. He remembers, last thing he remembers, passing out in bed. He said I was pretty dang drunk at that time. When you have to make those hard decisions like that when you're intoxicated, you don't have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so that's what happened here.
When you have to dispose of a body when you're a ham-dogged?
That's a bad time for that.
Maybe don't kill people and you don't have to do that.
He says after all these years, he believes that it's his former girlfriend who wandered into the apartment and fought with Anton and killed her in a jealous rage. He said, in a way, I'm glad I got caught because now I'm aware there's a good chance I didn't do this. Inside, I'm much happier, like not in prison, in his thing, in his body.
Maybe he's right.
They said, do you have any remorse? And he said, I don't believe I killed her.
Oh, I don't believe.
Interesting. Well, she's buried at the Greenville Cemetery in Clay County, Iowa. Poor Anna that's a rough life she had.
That's so
man.
fucked, man.
That's a tough 34 years that woman had.
Truly.
So there you go. There, he's free and retired in Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed that story, tell the world about it. Tell your friends, get on social media, and most importantly, get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars and help us out. And give a nice review. That always helps. Speaking of reviews, check out Your Stupid Opinions.
Hey!
Our new podcast where we talk about dumb reviews from all over the internet of products, places, things, people. It's awesome. Check it out anywhere you listen to podcasts. Also listen to Crime and Sports. You also want to follow us on social media at Small Town Murder on Instagram. You'll fucking find us if you want to follow us on social media. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all the bonus material. $5 a month or above gets you everything. Back catalog, new stuff every other week. This week, 2 new episodes. 1 for Crime and Sports, 1 Small Town Murder. Crime and Sports, Pros versus Joes.
There you go.
Who thinks it's a good idea to play an athlete in their own sport? A moron. And we get to watch them on TV. And then we're going to talk about Sarah Boone, the alleged suitcase killer. Who zipped her boyfriend up in a suitcase. That we know she did, and I'll talk about the interrogation and everything. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports.
Yeah.
Also, shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets December 2nd, Dallas.
Yeah.
Virtual live show October 26th.
Hey!
Available for a week after that. That is shutupandgivememurder.com/virtual live. We're going to dress up. Halloween spectacular. Cannot fucking wait. Get your tickets right now. Follow us on social media. It's all on the site. Get in there. Get us. And until next week, everybody. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
It takes one guy out there to say, who's that Kyle who thinks he can just get on a microphone on a podcast and start publicizing this?
From iHeart Podcasts and Tenderfoot TV comes a new true crime podcast, Crook County.
I got recruited into the mob when I was 17 years old.
Meet Kenny, an enforcer for the legendary Chicago outfit.
And that was my mission, to snuff the life out of this guy.
He lived a secret double life as a firefighter-paramedic for the Chicago Fire Department.
I had a wife and I had 2 children. Nobody knew anything.
People are dying. Is he doing this every night?
Torn between 2 worlds.
I'm covering up murders that these cops are doing.
He was a freaking crazy man.
We don't know who he is, really.
He is my father, and I had no idea about any of this until now. Welcome to Crook County. Available now. Listen for free on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.